I'm so excited to be with you today and to have the chance to speak about universal design for learning and adult literacy, education, and increasing outcomes for all of our adult learners. I'm Stephanie Rittberger, Region 5 Representative and Adult Education Coordinator from the Career Learning Center of the Black Hills. And today we have Dr. Carmine Stewart with us. Carmine, could you please introduce yourself?
Sure. So I am Carmine Stewart. I'm the Vice President of Programming for Seeds of Literacy, which is an award-winning adult literacy education program located in Cleveland, Ohio. And I'm also the President and CEO of ACES, which stands for Aspire Consulting and Educational Services, where I do professional development for adult literacy.
So what led you to write about universal design for the COABE Journal?
Well, so in adult education, we work with students with special needs, we work with students who are experiencing poverty, and we work with students of different cultural and racial backgrounds. And universal design is one strategy that serves all of those students incredibly well. And I just wanted to be able to share with instructors that universal design was a strategy that we could use so that they could become more familiar and investigate ways that they can incorporate it in their own programming.
Sure. So what kind of benefits do you think adult education practitioners will gain from using universal design?
Well, I hope that they'll begin to shift their paradigm around learning and instruction and start teaching in ways that put their students' needs at the center of the learning transaction and in ways that attenuate the effects of student barriers, which is what will benefit the learners. When we can remove their barriers and teach in ways that attenuate the effects of them, then the student learning occurs.
That is excellent. What do you hope the readers are going to take away and use in this article?
So my hope is that they will be curious enough about universal design to begin to investigate it for themselves and start thinking of different ways to engage students, how to motivate them to engage in learning, different ways to present information to students so that you are accommodating all the different student learning styles and preferences, and different ways for students to demonstrate their mastery of learning concepts, because when we limit students to one or two modes of communicating what they know, we prohibit some students from really shining in the classroom.
Yeah, I loved you brought all the way through thinking through the barriers and learning sections, and then you speak about even having libraries of lessons previewed, and I really appreciated that as a practitioner. So yeah. I also just wanted to give you a chance to share any comments or anything else you'd like to share with our audience today.
Well, I think the only last thing would be that I think in adult education, it is so common for educators to work sort of in a vacuum. So you may work in a program where you don't see any of your administrative staff because you're teaching on a day that they're not on site, or you're teaching after normal work hours. And so I think that it's important to find and create opportunities for them to come together and work together to develop content together, so that no one teacher is responsible for trying to figure out how to incorporate universal design in every single lesson, and that maybe teachers can work together as teams, and even state associations can begin sharing that information, and even at our conferences and in our national interactions, begin to share with one another so that we're not all reinventing the wheel, but that we all have access to the kinds of lessons and materials that really make an impact for learners.
Thank you, Dr. Carmine Stewart. You were great. I appreciate your time and all of your expertise.
Thank you.